What's going on, everybody? Good evening. My name is Mike. Thank you for tuning in, joining us for tonight. You know, we got a lot going on this week. I want to personally thank the Webbs for, their hard work and their dedication and everything that they do. But with me, I want to introduce Cameron Jacobs. He is our winner from Saturday's North Georgia NPRC Point Series race. So how you doing today, Cam?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just real quick, I'm just gonna go over what was going on. Saturday, this past Saturday, like I said, we had our point series race. We had a pretty good crowd that came out, and the weather was really good to start off early in the morning. But as the day went, the clouds kind of decided to break away, and the sun came out, and it got a little hot. So the track temp was rising pretty quick. So I was like, well, this is going to be a tricky day. So it was, I guess you would say, it was one for the books. So I definitely like to thank everybody that showed up that day, came out and had a great time. Everybody was laying down some fast passes, and we'll just go ahead and get with Cameron here. And Cameron, you want to say anything about your car? If you want to let people know what kind of setup you're running, I mean, you don't have to give your secret tunes or anything like that. But if you're interested, of let everybody know what kind of car you're running, what motor, ESC, tire prep, and stuff like that. I'll let you have the mic.
Um, pretty pretty standard setup now. I'm running a 5-star breakout with R1 ESC and Castle motor. And Max Amps battery. There's no secret to the tune though. I just throw everything at it and hope it sticks.
What kind of remote are you running?
I run an M17.
Okay. Pretty much what a lot of people is running nowadays, with everybody that's running that type of setup. That's apparently the best remote on the market. So I guess you can't really complain too much about that. I understand it is very user friendly. So that's pretty good. So I want to let everybody know, Cameron here was with us for our third point series race, and he won that as well. So you want to do a little quick summary of that race before we go into Saturday's race? What you thought about the location, what you thought about, your competition, and, did you actually thought that you were going to pull out the win like you did? It's because there were some heavy hitters that day.
Well, I didn't have no races going on that weekend, so I decided to come to y'all's points race, check the place out. I've never been there, and it was interesting. I set my car down and was pretty quick right off the start, and threw a little more at it and set a personal best that day. And I don't remember all of that race. It's been a few races ago, but I
Yeah.
couldn't believe the traction there. The road didn't look that much better than other roads I've been on, but there's a lot of traction there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things a lot of people that's come to our location, even the locals, and then some that are like, about an hour or two, maybe 4 hours away, they come to our location. And that's what we hear is like, man, your traction at our track is, phenomenal. And a lot of people's getting some really fast passes. Recently, 2 months ago, we had Tommy Burgess break our personal track record there with a 1.7. So I was like, if Tommy can lay down some fast passes, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be able to come in behind him and break another record, and it'll just keep going from there. It's just the track's phenomenal, but it does have its tricky days, especially when the temperature is well above 120, 130 surface temp. I'm referring to, of course, guys and girls. And then of course everybody knows that it gets a little tricky. Got to tune the car just right for that condition. So anyway, we'll get into, let's see, when you came in Saturday, what was your focus coming into Saturday's event? What was your whole thought process? I mean, did you have a plan? Did you just like don't know? You're just gonna play it by ear? Um, you know, what was your opinion coming into that day of the event?
Well, I knew I could put some power down. So the week before, I did some testing at home and did a pretty good pass for our road. We don't have quite the traction, so I knew if I could get something that was pretty hot on our road, that on y'all's road would be a bass tune. So I come there. My first pass was pretty quick. I think it was 2.0 something at 75, I think. And me and my buddy Marcus, it was his first time there, and I told him as well. I said, just whatever you've got, throw it all at it because it will probably stick on this road. And he he struggled for a minute himself and couldn't get a 1.9 anything, and he just cranked it way up and skipped the 1.9s, went straight to the 1.8. So I said, well, I guess I need to throw a little more at mine as well.
Yeah. So what was your thoughts and opinions on, other competitions I was there that day? Did you have anybody you had your mindset on? It's like, if I was to be paired up with that person, what's my game plan type of deal? Or was it pretty much, you know, again, play by ear, just see what the road can take that your car can do and just go from there?
Yeah, I usually race either with you guys or I go to South Carolina with the upstate guys because I know that's the fastest people closest to me. So anytime I go to either one of those races, I don't pay attention to who I'm racing. I just know everybody I race is going to be fast. So
Yeah.
I just try to give it all from the beginning.
Well, as of right now, I'm sure if you already seen it on, the North Georgia NPRC Facebook page, that you are now currently third in points, with 10 points, which by luck, the first time you came out, you won that event and you got some points there. And then this Saturday, you won the event and got more points. So that brought you up quite a bit from almost out of 30 drivers. You went from about mid pack to all the way to third. So I'm betting that you were real stoked after winning Saturday's event and knowing that you're going to have some good points going into our last race in September.
Yeah, the plan was because I've been to all of the South Carolina points races, so we planned on going to South Carolina Saturday, but we was rained out, so we just, like I said, my buddy Marcus, I told him let's go down to Georgia and give it a shot. And unfortunately, both races that I've won, I lost first round. If I would have went undefeated the whole time, I would be 1 point away from first place right now. So.
Yeah, it's because our top two drivers are tied currently at 13 apiece, which is our good friend Nick Freeman and Cody, aka Bisquick. So yeah, it's a tight race, but we're going to see what happens on our last race, and I know a lot of people's going to throw the kitchen sink, the dog, the wife, the house, the car. I think they're going to do anything and everything they can to win it all, and you can feel it in the air. But at the same time, you also feel a lot of excitement, a lot of compassion, a lot of help as well. So it's always a great thing. So we'll go ahead and hop into your races, and we'll just go per round to let everybody know who you race and what was your plan for that race. So basically in round one, we had 15 drivers, and of course, we had we usually do a chip draw at our events, and we had one person that was lucky enough to get the bye. So we had basically, 14 drivers racing, competing against each other, and our buddy Cam here had a race against the famous, well-known Ryan Clay. So what was your thought process in round one of racing against him, or what you had to do to try and beat him, which, if I remember correctly, you came up just a little short of that race.
Yeah, I've raced with Ryan a few times. I know he's fast, and you better send it when you're going to race him. I I had a pretty good tune in. I knew if I was going to beat him, though, I was probably going to have to beat him on the lot because I think he for sure had a faster car than I did. And I think we went third, maybe, in the first race.
Y'all went fourth. Y'all went the fourth
Fourth
pair.
pair. Yeah, and I went over and just making sure my car was ready. Didn't pay attention how how you were doing the lot. So when you went green, I was sleeping big time. You know, you said you could do it right after you say watch the lights, or you might hesitate, and I believe you went right after you said it, and I was not ready. So he kicked my butt on the lot, and he kicked my butt down the track.
Yeah, I'm, in the driver's meeting, I did clarify and make sure that everybody understood that how I do the lights is basically, I want to make sure that both drivers are ready to go. So the only way to find out if they're for sure ready is that I'm going to ask each lane of that driver, left lane, are you ready? I ask, please give me either a verbal response, a head shake, a hand, dance. I don't care.
Yeah,
Just something to let me know that you were ready and you're ready to watch that light. So, like I said, at the light, you're both lined up and I asked left lane if you're ready, right lane if you're ready. As soon as I got the acknowledgement from both drivers, I said, all right, watch the light and I'll turn that light on whenever I feel it's convenient. But at the same time, I don't want to sit there and purposely burn both drivers down because that's just not who I am. That's not what I want to do. I want to make sure it's fair, but at the same time, keep the light inconsistent. And, it's because I found out that the last event, I was told that I was very consistent and everybody was able to count and tree a lot of people. So I learned that one and made a little difference. So yeah, in round one, you raced against Ryan and you came up short. So after that, we had a first round buybacks and you decided to go ahead and come on back. And in round two, you were the last pair and you had a race against our last month's winner, Landon Anderson. So with that being said, what's your thought process on that and what did you have to do to get your car right and ready to try to beat him?
well, I went back. I didn't make one of my fastest hits of the day, first round anyway. I knew he was quick. I haven't got to race with him before, but I figured if he won last time, he's no slouch. So I put a little more in it, which ended up being a little too much. The car stuck, but I could definitely feel a little wiggle on the big end. I think when the turbo come in, I did spin a little bit. But I told at the end of the race, me and him both was looking at each other. We didn't know who won. It was close. I told him
Yeah,
I wouldn't bet
it was
anything
definitely close. Yeah, it's
on who
because we
won.
had to go to the camera on the finish line to determine. And if I remember correctly, you had him beat by a car and a half, if I remember correctly. But with these cars doing 1.7s, 1.8s, 1.9s, it's a blink of an eye by the time they cross that finish line. So it was definitely a close race. We had to go to the camera, and you did win by a car and a half, if I remember correctly. So on to round three. And by this time, the sun's out, it's baking the ground. I think I remember you saying something about, the track starting to get a little slick, a little greasy. Um, did you have anything planned before going into round three for the track?
Uh, I did. I took like I said, I had it a little hot. I took a little out. I didn't. I felt pretty confident on the first, you know, 30, 40 foot, and I think that's where a lot of people was spinning a little in the grease. It did get warm. I seen a couple cars, a couple of the fast guys blow their tires off, which is not like them. And I set my car down in the 11s there, whatever you want to call it, and I had to adjust my car because it wasn't exactly straight. So I moved the back end on the ground, which is something I don't do, and I could feel the grease almost underneath my tires. So I got it
Yeah.
over out of the prep just slightly, not all the way, but I wanted to touch a little more road, and seemed to work. It held everything. I didn't take anything out. Everybody's telling me to turn it down. I'm trying to tell them I'm too slow. It don't matter if I turn it down. It ain't gonna break traction.
Well, going into round 3, you were the first pair, and you were racing against Ricardo. Ricardo has been very consistent. He's been very quick. I know he's beaten me before, and I think I've beaten him once before as well. So he's no slouch. He's also new to the area, and seeing his car, I mean, he was quick. He was very quick. So with that being said, did you have any game plan for him going into that round?
I felt pretty confident because of the previous pass. After the little bit of timing I took out, the car definitely made a faster pass, and I wasn't going to mess with it too much more because I know if I threw more at it with everybody spinning, it might be a mistake. So I just left the car, just made sure it made a good pass. Made
Well,
sure I wasn't sleeping that time.
I will say at least you weren't sleeping at the light compared to the last one. So yeah, first pair in round 3, you took him out, and then everybody else pretty much followed suit. The most interesting thing, though, as I'm looking at my sheet here, um, a lot of people, especially in the first round, we had a lot of drivers win in the right lane, and then basically right when the sun came out and started cooking the ground in round 2, pretty much 90% of everybody won in the left lane. Now in round 3, you're the only one that won in the right lane, and everybody else won in the left lane. Did you, by chance, study that and try to, there's a reason why people were winning in this lane, or your car was working in that lane, or did you just, again, just basically just kind of tune by what you felt and see what your car was able to do on that particular surface?
I've, I've been in the left lane mostly that day anyway, practicing, and I did make a pass or two in the right lane, which like I said, everybody was having the problem in the first 10 to 15 foot, and I'd never had that problem in either lane. Mine was further out if I ever did see any slipping, so I just left it alone, and I figured it stuck about all day. I believe there was somebody might have been testing possibly before that, so I made sure to let them go. If they wanted to set their car there and cool that lane down, I'm not stopping anybody. So maybe got a little favor there.
Yeah. Well, real quick in round 3, I want to take a moment before we go on to the next round. In round 3, this says a lot about not particularly saying just only our group. And I know there's probably other people in other groups around the state that has probably came across a situation like this. But in round 3, we had a driver that had a major problem occur to her car from round 2. Come to find out, I think that the ESC pretty much fried on it, and they didn't really have a backup one. So with that being said, me being, the race master, and, having also people to help me, think of a resolution thought, and, my buddy Nick Freeman came up with this idea, was basically get the remaining drivers, which you were one of them as well. We had Rusty Brooks and Russell and Cantina, which is the lady that had the issue. We all came together and we asked all the remaining drivers if it was okay for her to borrow another person's car. And this is what gets me really well. Everybody there, including yourself, said, go for it. And that's what makes this hobby what it is. I know a lot of people that's probably watched a previous live feed from Billy. I hate that, there's a lot of people out there that would do something like that. It's a hobby that you have men, women, and also children in this, and you want to set example for the younger version of ourselves that's wanting to get into this hobby. So this really touched me because I never thought that everybody would have say yes. I almost kind of thought, a lot of you guys would probably say, well, if her car's broke, then she can't race, is what it is. That's part of racing. which I agree it is part of racing. Things happen. But for everybody to say, yeah, she was able to borrow a person's car to finish out the rest of the round was really remarkable. And again, I wanted to thank Nick Freeman for that loan of his cars because, unfortunately, he went out in round two. Um, and he was pretty much, he was done for the rest of the day. But he was able to sit there and, help me out with the track and whatnot. And when she came up, um, Nick was like, let's try to do this for her. And Nick is the type of person that will do whatever he can to help you out. And again, um, not to drag this on long, again, I just want to say thank you, Nick, for what you did and the idea that you came up with. And Cam, I want to say thank you. Rusty Brooks and Russell, if y'all by chance are watching, uh, you're agreeing to let her borrow of another person's car is phenomenal. It's awesome. That's what I call family, and that is extremely awesome. So after round three, you were able to beat Ricardo, and then of course I had to
Okay.
race
Let me
Katina with the
come on.
borrowed car. So that didn't work out too well for me, but that's okay. I've beaten that car in round two, but I was happy is because I love being able to beat a good friend of mine that's helped me try and get my car dialed in straight and consistent and fast. But every time I always drew his number, I knew right off the bat I'd lose. But again, I'm kind of walking away too far. But anyway, I just want to say thank you, everybody out there, to help make this hobby better than what it really is and continue to keep growing because of, you know, what you guys allowed her to do to continue on racing, which was awesome. And I can't wait to see more of that. So anyway, after round three, you were able to proceed on to round four, and you drew Katina with Nick Freeman's car. So now what are you thinking at this time?
Well, before I forget, yeah, I've raced with Nick for a long time. I think we built our first cars like in 2019. I know I did. Maybe he was even before then. But Nick at Super Nats, I blew my motor. Nick loaned me a motor. I blew it, and I think he loaned me two more. And the third one he loaned me is the one that I ended up placing third at that event, and also on Nick's tires. So Nick's helped a lot of people.
He
Um,
had, and very thankful for what he does. But yeah, round four, you're racing against Katina with Nick Freeman's car. So what was your plan going into that round?
well, Katina's she makes me nervous anyway. She's fast on the lot, and her car is usually very fast. I know she took me out actually the first time I was there. She's the one that beat me in the first round. So me and Katina's raced a few times, and we've back and forth beating each other. But I knew Nick's car was fast. Me and Nick talked quite a bit, and he's shared some times with me, and I also know that they had been cutting it down some because, like I said, he went out second round, and he was one of the fastest cars there as well, and it's just the track was slick. It was hot, so I knew that he definitely cut that one down enough to go A to B and still make a fast pass, but I didn't know if mine was going to be enough to go or not. And I think even that race was another one that might have had to go to the camera. I think almost every race I had almost had to go to the camera. Everybody's quick.
Yeah, it definitely was. And that's why I'm so happy and thankful to have my son help me out as well. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I usually have my son at the finish line to record the finish line finish because our track, we don't have the BB Roadrunner or anything like that. We're just basically strictly, I guess you would call it, street racing style with a green light, and we have somebody at the end of the track to record and to come back to let us know who won and so forth. So again, I want to thank my son for that as well. But yeah, you're right. If there was a lot of races that was just basically neck and neck races, and then everybody was on point. You know, everybody was dealing with a tricky track, but still, even with a tricky track, a lot of people were basically almost neck and neck with the finishes. So, but yeah, in round 4, you took out Katina. It was indeed a close race. I think it's probably one of the closest one that we've seen. Um, I'm sure there may have been another one, but I still got to finish editing those videos before I can upload it to my YouTube channel. But anyway, you beat Katina, and now we're in the finals, and you're racing against not only Clay Motorsports' brother, Russell Clay. So now you're racing against him. You're in the left lane. He's in the right lane. What are your thoughts against racing against him, knowing that, you know, he's with Ryan and they got some fast stuff, like you said before. Their cars are quick. So what's your game plan in the finals?
Well, I pay attention a lot of where people's running, and we was going to flip for the lane. I just asked him what lane he wants because I figured he'd take right. Katina's race, I had right lane, and I got off the line, but definitely must have been spinning a little in the right lane because it's about 60-foot mark. I wheelied against the race 4, and so I let him have his lane. I knew it was slick over there, and I just kind of hoped that I got all the traction that I've been getting in the left lane, and maybe he slipped a little like I did the previous time before. So I knew he was going to be fast. I knew I was going to have to probably beat him on the light. They've got that 4-pole figured out better than I do for sure. So I was just trying to be ready. Hope it made
So
it.
yeah, I remember that race very well. Yeah, when I asked both drivers if they're ready, you know, watch that light. And as soon as I flipped that light on, you were both y'all pretty much let out hard, but I think you let out just a smidge harder. And then probably about maybe 5 foot out, his car decided to make a little hard right hand hook. And I think his car probably got out of the groove and just caused his car to go out that direction, which pretty much confirms you as being a winner, because of course the rules at our track is if you know first is worse, and he went outside the track, so that was pretty much an automatic loss on his behalf, which I would love to see a really good clean race between the both of y'all, because I think that would have probably been one of the best races we would have. But you know, of course, incidents do occur and they do happen. Sometimes they happen in the most inconvenient time. But again, light turned green, both y'all left hard, and you took home the win. So how do you feel about that? After fighting through not only fast drivers, but a very hot, slick, tricky track. I think we may have lost him. Uh-oh. Just give us a moment. We'll try to get him back.
So if you haven't
There you
noticed, I'm in a motel room. I work out of town, so the Wi-Fi hit or miss.
Okay. I'll just go back to what I was saying. After you finally won the race, uh, what was your reaction? What was your feeling after having to battle through a lot of fast drivers and dealing with a very good but yet tricky, sticky, slicky track to sum it all up?
Um, I like to win when both cars go down, but I'm never going to turn down a win. I knew I was definitely excited too, but usually I don't let it bother me. It takes a minute. By the time I'm holding or taking the picture, that's about when my nerves set in. So I'm sitting there, hands a little shaky after the race. I try not to think too much about it before the race. But
Yeah. I mean, that was probably, again, that was probably one of the quickest passes you probably made. Were you running GNSS times at all during that event?
yeah. I
Would
used to
you
never.
care sharing, or do you just kind of like keep it to yourself?
The win, I actually slowed down. I don't know if I spun or what, or maybe I let out because I have definitely stared at the car spinning before and hit a cone, and I've lived and learned from that mistake. So I think I actually slightly let out toward the end, so it wasn't that bad or fast. I think it was just a 2-0 something. But
Yeah.
I believe my pass against Katina might have been one of my faster passes there. It was, uh, I think it was a low 1.9 at 79 mile an hour or something like that.
That's good.
Nothing too
Well,
crazy. Still learning the four pole.
yeah, I was about
I
to say
know.
that's because that was your first race to actually start learning the four pole, if I'm correct.
Yeah. That's my first race on it. I've played with it some the week before, and it's potent. It's definitely something to learn. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying
Well, folks out there, if you have any questions for Cam or myself or just in general, please go ahead and ask away. I'm going to ask you a question real quick. What got you into the RC drag race scene, if you don't mind me asking?
it. Our local hobby shop, we used to have an indoor track there, and we was racing a little bit of everything on road and some off road. Uh, One of the guys, well, Marcus, that was with me, that we usually race together, he started talking about this no prep, and it's starting to grow. And this is uh, 2019ish. Nobody ever thought of it being what it is now, but we we had some slashes, and we were just playing around with them, throwing big motors in them, just seeing how fast we could get them to go before the wind caught them and flipped them a million times. But uh, then we seen, I think it was J Concepts had posted a picture of their car that they had built with the LCG slash and everything. So we like building cars. We just started throwing them all together, and had way more power and no traction, and definitely didn't at the time have a remote that you could tame the thing with. So uh, I know originally I had a 8 scale castle and a 3-turn motor, and we bought one of the Traxxas drag trees, and it was on from there.
Well, I definitely want to congratulate you on your win. We do definitely greatly appreciate you coming out, also bringing Marcus Welch with you as well. So that's awesome. I hope he enjoyed the event. It looked like he had a good time. Hopefully, we'll be able to see you both back at our last event, which most likely I'll probably end up seeing both of y'all back.
I think so. It just depends on. I know I've been trying to keep up with the South Carolina ones. I don't know. We've had a couple rain out dates, so it just depends on what races land on what weekend. Um,
Yeah.
we're going to try to
Well,
definitely come more. I mean, I actually timed it this time. Y'all's track is a little quicker for us to get to as well. So uh,
and where again are you? Where you? What state you live in?
I live in North Carolina, very
Okay.
western North Carolina. So I'm roughly 2.5 hours from everywhere we race, whether it be
Okay.
Georgia, South Carolina, or Tennessee.
Um, another question while we were still waiting for everybody else. Um, you've been in the sport for about how long? You said about a little over a year.
Since we started in 2019, so I wouldn't really count 2019. It was mostly us just playing around. So probably roughly two.
Okay. Well, with that note, do you have any words of inspiration or advice or anybody that's, the newcomers coming into the hobby? Do you have any words of inspiration, ideas, something to help them try to get better and faster from where they started? I know when I first started, I come into this hobby, I have a stock DR10 tub chassis, which I'm still currently still running a stock DR10. You know, doing some research and everything, even YouTube, trying to learn tricks and trades of what everybody's doing to get faster. And sometimes having people there helps you. So if it wasn't for those people, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. I'll probably be having these cars sitting on the wall like you probably see behind me now, if it wasn't for certain people. So what would you say to those that are still currently in the sport trying to learn, and those that are now coming into the hobby wanting to learn? Do you have anything that you want to say about that?
Ask questions. Like I said, I've been doing it a couple years, and I've still learned stuff all the time. Don't. And the biggest things, people get so upset over these fast times they see online, and just because they can't mimic it on their road. Y'all's track has definitely showed me that whatever I think is fast at my track is nothing compared to what my exact same car will do on y'all's track. So a lot of people see this 1.5 and they're like, "Oh, I might as well quit now. I'll never go that fast." They need to pay attention to where these guys are running. Those tracks they're glued. By the time 200 guys have practiced on it for 2 or 3 days, that is a sticky track. So don't get discouraged because you see some crazy fast time. I mean, everywhere I go, my car is a different speed. So
All right. And one last thing, what good thing would you say about yourself? When I met you, I knew that you were a very outgoing person. You're willing to, give any advice. So what would you say about yourself?
oh Lord, I don't know. uh, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
when somebody thinks of you, what impression you hoping to put in their heads about who is Cameron Jacobs?
I don't know. I just try to get along with everybody. It's just have fun doing this. It's not worth getting mad at each other over. If you lose, most likely it's your fault, not the other guy's fault. So just have fun with everybody.
All right. Well,
Uh,
let's go to these questions real quick. I knew there was a few. I may have missed a couple of them. Let's see. Soul Brother. Let's see. Running said that most are running that setup. Uh, he's asking, are you using R1 setup?
yeah, I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I would say the R1 ESC is definitely the quickest. So I will be using that for until somebody can show me something quicker. R1 ESC, that is. I'm using Castle motor right now, but I am pre-ordered for the R1 motor to try that out as well.
We have Michael Osborne saying Cam is a great person/friend. That's good.
He lies a
Uh,
lot.
Cynthia Ron says, "Hey Cam, great job." Let's see here. See if I can figure out. I know there were some other questions in here, but I may have missed them.
Michael is another guy that races a lot with us at home, and he's got pretty serious with it over the past couple months, and we've helped him out some, and he's been testing a lot, and I'm pretty sure he's tied my personal best GNSS already, so he's coming along quickly.
Yeah, I'm about to say I see one in here that says, from him. He said, "Hey Cam, can I get your tune?"
I mean, he is, I think.
Yeah, that's one thing I've also learned. As even though a lot of people is willing to help you, almost to the point where they're giving you their exact tune that's on their car, and your car could be 100% identical to his. They can always not perform the same.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, here's what I've learned where I've been asking for some help on my car, and those that are running stock DR10 tubs where they're running times that I thought I could never get there, they're nice enough to actually literally give me their full tune. I mean, motor, ESC, gears, tires, prep, I mean, everything. And I'll use that. But here's what I've learned. Um, you can use that as kind of like a base tune, because I've learned and been told, which is true, you can have two identical cars, identical tunes, identical everything, but one car is going to perform completely different from the other one. So I've learned that if you take somebody else's tune, it could or it could not work. But chances are it's not going to work. But what I've learned is that I can take that tune and I can make necessary adjustments in my car to make it go better, faster, or straighter, because I've been having a lot of issues trying to get my car straight. And again, of course, I had a really good friend that you and I know, of course, Nick Freeman. He's literally, I loaned him my car one day and I asked him if he'd be willing to go through it. And he went through it with a fine comb. And I don't know what magic spell he's done to that car, but when I got it back for the Saturday event and for during testing and tuning, that car was straight and fast. And I thought I would never get it there. But with the tune, though, of course, he's also helped me make some minor adjustments from the copy tune that I borrowed. It's helped me learn what makes two of the identical cars act different and as to why. So, yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
even know where I was going with this.
that's a big misconception. People think that somebody can give you a tune and your car is fast, and like you said, I can put the exact same tune in, and my car may not come close to the same speed. Michael, I believe last time we was out with his car, we had like 25 degrees of total timing in it, and it was unbelievable fast. So there's no way somebody can tell you put this exact numbers in, and your car is just going to work perfectly. So you
Yeah,
got to go out and test.
very wise words. Um, yeah, that's the only way anybody and everybody can get faster to be on the top levels, as Frank Ulbrich or Lindsey May or Mark Vaughn or people like them that are just phenomenal fast. But look what they've done to get there. They test, they test, they test, they test, they test, they test. It's just how much time that you're willing to put forth in the effort into making your car as fast as you could possibly give it time to.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, when I ask you, what's your advice to newcomers? Yeah, test, 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 test. I mean, it could take you a month before you reach your goal, but I promise you, when you reach your goal, you're going to feel the whole world off your shoulders. Uh, I I knew what that feeling was like when I broke into the 2 1s. I was like, I can't believe it. I had help getting there, and I was ecstatic. Now it
Oh
feels
yeah.
like I can't get past the 2 1s, and I'm still stuck currently in the 2 1s. But again, if you want to go fast, you got to go practice. You got to go test and see what works with your car. And it's fun, and there are days where it can be frustrating. I mean, sometimes one day your car was doing exactly the way you're wanting it to do, never touch the car, come out the next day, test the tune, and next thing your car is going anywhere and everywhere possible, and you don't know why. So,
Yeah.
guys, girls, ladies, kids, if y'all are watching, um, yeah, like Cameron said, if you want to get faster, don't be afraid to ask questions, but also at the same time, test, 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 test. That's the only way you can learn. Um, that's the only way you can get faster. There are some people out there that's a little slow at learning. I am one of those people right here. I take forever to understand how the tuning process work on some of these cars. And when somebody says, "Oh, just turn it up," okay, where, why, how? I'm just and of course, you have people out there that's willing to help you and explain to you and how and why it works. Um, so again, uh, that's good good answer for the question I asked. Just basically just test and hope you fall in love with the hobby and continue to grow the hobby and make it bigger than what it was last year. I mean, a lot of folks are competing in the no prep series race where a lot of states are doing it. Basically, after 6 races, the top 5 out of each state will advance to the Clash of the Titans that's being held in Florida, Okeechobee, Florida, actually. Most of you know the person that runs that track down there, James Cannon. So hopefully, Cam, if you keep this up, I mean, we got one more race, and again, like I said, I'm kind of hoping to see you back out again during our last race. You have a very, very strong chance of going with us to Florida, depending on, of course, how well you do in the other ones as well that you're competing in as well. So let's see.
Yeah, I think currently right now I'm sitting in 3rd in South Carolina and Georgia. So
That's good. So basically, anybody out there, that's interested in the Point Series race, if you want to learn more about it or want to join in it, which of course, like I said, we're approaching our last race. Pretty much the series is about to come to an end. There are a few states out there that still got a couple races, maybe more than a couple, trying to get that tied up. But of course, like I stated earlier, after 6 races, the top 5 drivers, after all the points are accumulated, are advancing to the Clash of the Titans. Now, the Clash of the Titans is, it's going to be a very, very big event. I'm hoping to see a lot of people out there. Probably even meet some people that I've always wanted to meet, but just can't do it because of the funds and distance and whatnot. So I know I'm going to have a great time out there because I know I'm not going to be in that top 5. But again, I'm going to have a blast because I'm going to go out there. Not only that I'm representing for the state of Georgia for my 5 guys that are advancing, but I want to go out there and have a great time to learn as much as I possibly can from anybody and everybody, possible tricks and trades. So yeah, if you or your state are interested, look us up and we can answer any questions that you may have. Also, this is something I'm also trying to make a tradition, not just only the North Georgia group, but, anybody else that's also running the Point Series race, or it may not even have to be a Point Series race. It can be a big event. And if you're a winner there and we want to hear from you. I was like, I'm like, again, I'm trying to make a trend where, if the winner of an event should be put on live feed, just like our man right here, Cam, just to get him recognized and, congratulate on his accomplishment of getting to where he is. So again, if there's anybody out there that just would love to be recognized, and if you won your event at your location, whether if it's Hawaii, Alaska, California, North Dakota, or Florida, or in Maine, if you want to get on, let the webs know or let and we can probably try to get something work together because I'd love to be able to get everybody recognized so that way, appreciate for their accomplishment to get to where they are. So you win a race and we want to hear about it, know about it, see about it, talk about it if you want. So, again, Cameron, I want to say congratulations. You have put down 2 winning passes for our Point Series race. So you are now sitting in 3rd with 10 points. So again, congratulations. You earned it, you worked for it, and it pays off, and that's always good to hear. So is there anything else you want to add or anything like that before we hop off?
yeah, I just want to say thanks. I like what y'all are doing with this. West Coast gets a lot of love. There ain't a whole lot of shows going on the East Coast, so it's pretty cool to see.
Well, that's good. Let's see. We got Nick Freeman on here with us. What's up, Nick? He says tunes for trade for voodoos. Hit my inbox. Oh, and then he said, I'll sell tunes for $20. Laugh out loud. Um, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. If you like to help support my channel, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell for Lagzilla RC. Again, I want to thank the Webs for allowing me to do this. And I know they have been very busy because I know this week has been prep week. So if you haven't been seeing any of that, go back and look back at their past videos and check them out, just because there's a lot of tire preps on the market, and I know a lot of them are phenomenal. I'm currently running BBM prep. So, Cameron, what do you run on your car, if you don't mind me asking?
Mostly just reaction time. That's what I've been using. I know a lot of guys are really fast on the BBM stuff, and I need to get up with Mike and give that a shot as well. I haven't really been. I know this is bad to say, but I haven't been testing with a lot of different preps, and I think you definitely should try and see what you like. But I've just been successful with one, so I haven't bought anything else in a while. But I definitely want to give that sauce a go. Everybody seems to be quick.
Oh
I
yeah.
know Donnie, who races with Mike a lot, was top 10 fastest time. I'm pretty sure on their sauce. So it's definitely
That's saying a
good
lot.
content.
That's definitely saying a lot. So
In the Wisconsin race, I mean, in top fastest time.
all right. Well, again, I want to say thank you for hopping on. I know normally I try to get the person to hop on the day of the event, but you had a pretty long travel back, so I knew that we couldn't go live that day. And plus, of course, a lot's been going on with the Webs. Again, I want to appreciate and thank the Webs for allowing this slot to be open for us to have this discussion. Again, I want to try to make this a traditional thing, not only for me or my group. I want everybody else out there that's, that has racing going on. And if you want to get the driver that won your event to get recognized or wants to be put on live feed and go over what he or she experienced and what they did to get to that point, and just hit us up and we'll try to make that happen. Again, we want to spread the love, spread, I got lost, so forgive me. So yeah, we definitely want to be able to get out to everybody. We want to reach anybody and everybody, man, woman, child. We want everybody to have a great time in this sport, and just let everybody know that it's a family event and it's a great time to spend time together. Yeah, we're racing toy cars, so I mean, we don't need to get mad about certain things. I mean, we're playing with toy cars. Just take a minute and let that soak in for a minute. So yeah, Cam, thank you so much. I hope you have a great night, and hopefully we'll be able to see you next month at the event. But other than that, I think that's about it. I don't think we have any other questions. Real quick, I think that's it. So once again, congratulations. I hope you have a good evening, and we'll go ahead and say adios to everybody out there. So y'all have a good night. Again, click that like, that share, and that notification on Lagzilla RC on YouTube. Help me try to get my channel spread out. Excuse me, wrong choice of words. And I hope everybody have a good night. Thank you for joining. Be safe, keep it between the lanes, and make plenty of friends. Good night.